tranny is tranny, the strategic discovery. By 1776, a significant realization dawned upon the influential figures within the English colonies. They discovered that by forging a new national identity and a legal framework called the United States, they could seize land, wealth, and political authority from British favorites. This wasn't just about independence. It was a sophisticated method of national control. By combining a sense of fatherly leadership with firm command, these elites aimed to prevent internal uprisings while creating a unified front against England. They sought to replace British rule with a new privileged leadership of their own making. A land of inequality. The colonies were far from a land of equal opportunity. In cities like Boston and New York, the wealth gap was staggering. By the early 1770s, the top 5% of taxpayers in Boston controlled nearly half of the city's taxable assets. While merchants grew rich from war, the poor faced crushing unemployment and hunger. Newspaper reports of the time described streets filled with beggars and wandering poor. This economic tension created a powder keg of resentment as the lower classes began to question why they lacked bread, while warehouses were full of flour for trade. Rural resistance. The spirit of rebellion wasn't confined to the cities. In the countryside, class-conscious white farmers organized the regulator movement to fight against corrupt officials. These farmers, who called themselves poor, industrious peasants, saw the local government as a tool for the rich and powerful to exploit them through burdensome taxes and court fees. In North Carolina, this tension escalated into a small-scale civil war. Thousands of regulators stood against the colonial militia, viewing their struggle as a battle of the oppressed against the designing monsters who controlled the law. Channeling the mob. Upper-class leaders like Samuel Adams and James Otis recognized the explosive energy of the lower classes. They formed the Boston Caucus to mold this popular opinion into a force they could direct. Their goal was to take the genuine grievances of the workers and craftsmen and point that anger toward Great Britain rather than toward the local wealthy elite. It was a tactical accumulation of responses, using the mob to challenge British authority while ensuring the energy of the people remained within certain limits, protecting their own private property from the very fire they helped light. The Stamp Act. Fury. The Stamp Act of 1765 triggered a wave of violence that nearly spiraled out of control. In Boston, a mob led by a shoemaker destroyed the homes of wealthy officials, smashing furniture and looting wine cellars. The elite Sons of Liberty types were initially pleased with the protest, but quickly became terrified by the popular fury they had unleashed. They realized that the mob might soon turn its sights on all wealthy property, not just British sympathizers. To regain control, they denounced the violence and attempted to redirect the people's energy into more orderly boycotts. Conflict on the docks. The famous Boston Massacre had deep economic roots. British soldiers stationed in the city to maintain order began taking part-time jobs that local workers desperately needed. Friction grew as sailors, rope makers, and apprentices found themselves competing with redcoats for scarce wages. On March 5, 1770, this tension erupted when a crowd provoked soldiers outside the custom house. While the event became a powerful piece of anti-British propaganda, it began as a struggle for bread and work among the motley rabble of the colonial waterfront. The voice of the people. Thomas Paine's common sense became a turning point because it spoke a language everyone could understand. Paine, who came from the lower orders himself, stripped away the idea of the divine right of kings, calling the British monarchy a necessary evil at best. His pamphlet bridged the gap between the disgruntled elite and the radicalized workers. It helped build the myth of a united people fighting for a common interest. However, even Paine eventually aligned himself with wealthy conservatives like Robert Morris, showing the revolution's ultimate commitment to maintaining the existing economic order. The limited promise. The Declaration of Independence was the peak of this revolutionary myth, declaring all men are created equal, while strategically ignoring women, slaves, and Indians. It was a brilliant document designed to unite a divided population against a single enemy. Yet, when the Declaration was read in Boston, the reality remained. The rich could pay for substitutes to avoid the military draft, while the poor were forced to serve. As the riots continued, some protesters shouted a chilling truth. Tyranny is tyranny. Let it come from whom it may. The revolution had changed the masters, but for many, the struggle remained the same. If you like this video, please like and share it with your family and friends, and subscribe this channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon. And this was the American History Part 4. If you have not watched previous 3 parts, then go to this channel and watch remaining parts, or click on Part 1 on the screen you are seeing. Thank you.